Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap morning homework session where we do our pre-market analysis and trade level setup for trading the ES. It is Wednesday, January the 15th, 2014. I want to welcome any of the guests that we've got in from Twitter. If you are a guest and it's your first time here, we are Quantum Leap. We are a self-organized learning environment. We've been running a private Skype room for over 4 years now. It's not a commercial venture, it's a private venture. If you're interested in coming in and checking out the chat room, give me a contact request through Skype at Doug_McKay. I'll be the one from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Of course, each morning we come here to do our homework, and we go through a series of routine. If you're watching the video on YouTube after the fact, you might want to skip ahead to more of the more in-depth analysis as we're setting up our trade levels. Before we get going, we've got to get the disclaimer out of the way. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand their knowledge of the business of trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. You and only you are responsible for the trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures or any instrument involves the risk of loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to your financial situation. Only risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than the initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please do your own homework, trade your own plan, and that's it. All right, so here we are. Let's just bring up the chart here for a second. Here we are right back into this balance that we have on the microcomposite running from December 23rd all the way to yesterday, and the most accepted price in all of that time is back here at the 31. Now what is interesting, and you can't see it because it's already developed, but we came up here trying to make that new, going up and attacking that 40.75, the other side of balance around the overall value around 31, but we failed at that 38.75, and then we were trying those 2 days. We were trying to hold balance in here around 32. We had this big down day, and I consider this to be midterm or OTF stepping in and putting us into distribution and accumulation. And we shifted, the VPOC shifted all the way down here as they came down towards the range that we had broken out of. They came down here, and then the buyers stepped in, and we had distribution or accumulation down here in around this 1310. Then yesterday we moved all the way back up, and during the live trade room, I brought this 2-day profile because I wanted to see where they were going to find value within the 2 days, and you can see that they did not find value after the accumulation down here at 1813. It didn't shift until we got back up to 31, and then they started distributing between 31 and 33, and you can see that the overall price acceptance for just the 2 days is basically in line with where they were trying to hold prior to failing to break out of that balance again. So they tried to break out of the value, and the value overall for this whole area, the value area high is 37, and the value area low is this 25. So I'm really looking at this 23.75 CLVN down here and 34.25 as the two sides of balance around 31, and we're currently trading above this 34.25. We're going to get into this in just a minute, a little bit more in depth, but let's go through and take a look at our numbers. Of course, our key number that we're watching right now, whether or not we have a positive or a negative year going on. Right now the bears are in control. Even though we're up here, they're holding us below this 1837.75. We tried to break above it, and they stepped in, on that big down day and said, not yet, and took us all the way down to 1809.50. So our year open is still 1837.75, and we are in a down year until we get above that. We have the year high at 1842.50. as the next key level above 37.75, and then the next key level above that, of course, is the all-time high and last month's high at 1846.50. We are above the open of last month at 1806.25, but we are below the close, of 1846 and a quarter. So we do have some targets up above. We've got some naked crosses up there. We've got a naked VPOC up there. We've got the gap close up there at 46 and a quarter with the all-time high just above that. Intraday, we had lower Globex numbers, obviously, going into yesterday. We opened the RTH session at 18.19.25 in range. Ended up with a normal variation. We took it all back. We had a nice range. I think it was 21.50 overall, 18.50 in the RTH, and we took all that that move down back in one day and got right back up into balance. Initial balance high 22.75, initial balance low 15.75, 7 point, pretty normal. And then we've come back in, and we've our intraday numbers were all higher, except for the RTH high was lower than the prior high by 4 points. Ranges right now, 20-day ATRs are running 12.90, so just under 13. We're expanding our range again in the RTH session, 14.80 in the full session, and 7.14 in the Globex. Value area high, 34 and a quarter. That's that key level that we were talking about. They failed to get out of that value at 34 and a quarter, and then the value area low at 22.75, just 1 point below the low that I was talking about, that CLVN. So I think this really defines where value is overall and levels to pay attention to, and we'll talk about how you're going to trade off of them in a minute. Nothing else jumps out at me right now in terms of that. In terms of the full session ATR targets, just got to check to see if we've made a new high yet in Globex. So our Globex high right now is 37.75. Let me just expand this a little bit. Our full session high right now is 18.37.75, and our full session low so far is 18.31.50. So that gives us full session ATR targets so far. Of course, this can expand because the full session will include the Globex and the RTH when it's open, and then we'll get the ATR targets for the RTH. But right now we've got 18.46.25 right at that gap that needs to be closed, and right at the all-time high as our ATR upside target, and our low 18.22.95, or call it 18.23. You can see how these levels are all playing into that range that I was just talking about. News for the day: we had PPI at 7:30. Didn't really give us much move at all. We've got crude coming up at 9:30, and then we got beige book at 1 o'clock. Of course, right now I think the risk is headline risk with any of these Fed members opening their mouths and making statements to the public on how they feel or what they think the Fed might do in terms of tapering this year. Let's take a look at the macro to the micro, as I like to do each morning, always looking at where we are in the trend within the different time frames. Monthly, we're trading near the upper distribution of last month, near the all-time highs. We've got slope and separation on the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA. Trend is very much intact. We haven't closed below the 20 SMA in 2012 or 2013 or 2014 yet. So the trend is very much up in the monthly. Same thing on the weekly. We came down and tested the 9 EMA so far this morning, closed this little tech gap that we were talking about on the weekly, but we bounced off of it, and we're trading in the upper distribution of last week. So the trend is very much intact on the weekly. On the daily, we had had that big down day, closed below the 9 and the 20. We took it all back, closed above the 9 and the 20 yesterday, and we're currently trading the so far today above the 9 and the 20. We had lost some slope and separation, and we're starting to get the slope. We're waiting for separation to see if this trend accelerates to the upside. But overall, the trend is intact. We do have a naked cross here at 1794.50. This is a major key level that a lot of different methodologies are looking at for a rotation back, and at some point in time I do expect to come back here and fill this naked cross down here on the daily. I don't think it's going to be today though. Going over to the geometric chart, we had broken below the center line of the the shorter term upward sloping fork that we added in early last week, and we've now gotten back above it. We got below it, we came up and we were testing. We talked about the probability of testing it from below yesterday at 29.75. That was one of our upper targets yesterday, and we broke through, and we're currently trading above the upper line. We came back down and tested it from above, and we're currently coming up to test the upper line of the downward sloping fork. We do have this energy point that is going to come into play. I think this energy point is going to come into play on a downside test. I think we're going to break out of the downward sloping fork and make a run. Now, I don't think the run's going to be that big today, but to test the upper line of the shorter term upward sloping fork would bring us all the way up into that 1874, 1870, 1872, 74 level. So not really much that we can discern from this, but watch for the breakout above the downward sloping fork. I think that releases us out of this value area, and we get initiative buyers stepping in and taking a run for that 1840.75, then the 42.50, then the 46.25 and 46.50. Let's take a look at that again on the composite. So as I mentioned, our overall balance is 31. I think the key here is to watch to see if we hold above 34.25. Even come back and test the range high from yesterday, and then have responsive buyers stepping in here to defend this area. We do have lots of time, so right now we're going to open up out of range, but we could change our hypothesis slightly if we get back into range, and we'll talk about that when I get into the intraday. But above 34.25, look for a push through to 38.75 to test the last swing high, the last fractal high on the daily, and then push through to the other side of balance at that CLVN at 40.50, and then if we can get through that, a move to 41.75. There's a naked VPOC right there, and then a push through to that 42.50, 43.25, but the big number above is the naked gap close at 46.25 in the all-time high up here at 46.50. Below 34, I'd look for a rotation back to at least 32.25, if not back to 31, and maybe a push through to the other side of balance at 29.75. This, to me, I think is a key level, although we might push through to the balance area, near the balance area low, down to this 25.50, maybe push through to 23.75. I'm not expecting, if we get below 29, it gets stuck down in this level, then I think we got to come down to find more buyers. I think we're going to run out of steam. But if we can hold above, I really want to see above 29.75, but I've got to, be realistic that they might want to push through to the value area low and maybe come down to this other side of balance around 23.75. But if we get stuck down here, then I'd be looking for a push through to, down to test the range low from yesterday. Maybe this, this other side of balance down here at 18.18. This has been a key level for us, but I'm not expecting, more than a push down down maybe to 23.75 is where I'm looking at the possibility of where the low could be if we don't see initiative buyers stepping in if we open out a range. Let's take a look at that and move our overnight numbers over to our intraday chart. So far we've got a overnight high at 37.75. Of course, this could change in the next 30 minutes, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. You notice that coming into the RTH session in the last few days is that the high has been changed. The market's been trading at the Globex high coming into the RTH Open the last few days. It's been somewhat of a theme. You can see that we're trading above the prior day range, right at that key level of 34 and a quarter. Our overnight low is 31.50. So we were definitely able to stay in the upper distribution and above the distribution all night, finding balance, in around that daily VPOC, the naked VPOC that we have from yesterday. Right now, our VPOC, overnight VPOC is down here at 32.75, but if we trade up here around this 36 anymore, I think we could see a shift of the Globex VPOC up above. And I think that's going to be significant if it happens, because it's going to put accepted value going into the the RTH Open above value. More importantly, it's going to be above this overall balance that we've had, basically between that 34 and 25 level, in the last week and a half we've been up here, and if we can shift value above and accept that value, then I think it takes us higher, takes out the overnight high, definitely test that 40.75. We've got the naked VPOC here at 41.75 and the naked close an all-time high at 46. So my main hypothesis today is if we can hold above the open and we get a shift of the VPOC up here, look for initiative buyers to step in anywhere from 36 to 34 and a quarter and hold us above value, the value area high from yesterday, 34 and a quarter as well, right at the range high, and take us up and just run us and rip us to the upside. If we get back inside of value and we get sellers stepping in, pushing, then look for it to come in and take out the gap, close. The gap is down here at 33. Our naked VPOC is 33 and a quarter, and then we've got the overnight low at 31, where they push through to that other side of balance, and you can see we've got the key LVN is right there at that 23.75, 24 area, which has been a key level. So this is going to be an area that I'll look for them to defend. It's also right above the value area low from yesterday as well, so I'll be looking to trade off of that. The other area that I'll be looking to trade, of course, is going to be that CLVN. Let me just actually bring this up so you can see it on the big picture and on the daily. So, 34 and a quarter is going to be an area that I'm going to be looking to do business. It's going to be a little bit tough to get the short into, 33 and a quarter and get funded, but I'd be looking for a push through if they get in here down to, you can see the HVN, the other HVN in this upper distribution is down here at 29.50. That's that key 29.75, and that's where I'm looking for them to push through. This will be an area that I'll be looking for responsive buyers to step in and hold us above and keep us up in this, at least for the time being, up in this major price acceptance level. And then a push down below will take us down to 23, 24 area down here. And then below that is going to be that 18 level that I was talking about down here, the CLVN at 18. That will be another area that I'll be looking to do business. And if we break below that, I'll be looking for a move down to test the overnight low. We've got the naked close down here at 1815 with a naked VPOC down here at 13, that accumulation that I was talking about down here, and that will be a major target for me to the low side. And the other one would be all the way down there at the 1807.25. If we see some real weakness coming in here, I'd be looking to target that 1807 area. Basically, it's just above the prior balance that we are in. The 1806.75 is the the microcomposite range high that we are in here, that is surrounding this big number in below 1800 at 1781.50. To the top side, I really don't have areas that I'll be looking to do business above. Mainly they're all going to be targets. But this, this 4075 area will be an area, if we get up here, I'll be looking at a possibility of them stepping in and, sorry, that shouldn't be a target. It is a target. Actually, I'm going to leave it as a target and a trade area. It is an area I'll be looking at, a possible reaction, maybe a push through to this naked VPOC here at 41.75. But the big target today is the ATR target, the naked close, and the all-time high up here at the 46.25, and the all-time high. On the daily, we do have some measured moves. The big number above this 46 is at 1870 level, but I think it's. I don't think we'll get that strong of a move. I think the move here is to go and test the range, the all-time range high up here at 46.50, and do some repairs. In terms of naked crosses, we do have a naked cross at 43.75 still. We have a naked cross at 39. And then we've got one down at 35.50. I'll have to see if it got taken out since I registered it, but I'll put it in here for the time being. I think it just got taken out. And then one down at 33.25, which is right on the naked VPOC down here. So we've got some targets below, and it won't surprise me for them to come down and test this upper distribution with a push through to that 29, maybe 24. But you've got to be cognizant of the fact that initiative buyers can step in here. We're outside of value right now, and we've got the year open and the overnight high at 37.75. The bulls are almost there. They almost got get us into positive territory for the years. I think we'll see a big battle in this area again. Be careful. Don't get chopped up here. Find your spot and watch the dome to see who's in control, and if initiative buyers step in, don't try to fade it. If we don't come back down on the open and break inside of this value, be careful trying to fade up here right now. Look to get in with the buyers for a move, at least up to test that 40 to 42 area. Remember, the last year high so far is that 42.50. In terms of the Keltner, you can see that we're above the center line. A test of the center line will bring us back into the 33 area and close the gap, close the naked VPOC, the naked close. Below, to test the other side, the lower Keltner will take us down to test that, by the time we get there, probably 29.50 area, between 27 and 27.50 and 29. So I'd imagine probably be by 29 by the time we get down there. And then if we stay above, the test of the upper Keltner line is up here at 39.50. And I think we could seriously see a Keltner upper line walk up to 42.50 if it sets up here. So keep an eye on your Keltner, and you can see we're getting a possible new high coming in. In terms of gold, we're trying to break out of this value area, this balance in around this 1225. We got up here, we were trying to hold above 1250. We talked about that 37 being a key level. We're currently trading below it. So right now, as if we stay below the 37 CLVN here, I'd be looking for a rotation back down to this 32 area again, and then a push through the big number below at 26. And if we can't find buyers with conviction stepping in here, then I think we're going to push through again down to test that last swing low down here in the CLVN at 12.18 and a quarter. If we get back above 37, look for a move. Same numbers as we've been talking about, 42, 44, 48, and now 51, and the big number above 55 and 57.30. So that's what I'm looking at. Howard, are you going to go through any of your analysis this morning?
Yeah, I'll do a quick overview.
Okay, over to you.
Okay, so taking a look at the daily, when we talked the other day, we had our high of the year, we had a move lower, a retracement, and another strong move lower, and at that point we were below the 20 SMA. Yesterday we had buyers step in, we broke back above both the 20 and the 9. So basically we just had a one-day push lower below the moving averages. It did not hold, and looks like so far on the Globex we're getting continuation higher. So that leaves us with a three-wave corrective pattern, so it indicates good probability that we will continue higher, likely take out this high at some point. But at this point what we were looking for, if that wasn't to be the case, is some continuation down lower, create a fourth wave, and then a fifth wave down, and that would have been an indication that perhaps an interim high at least has been put in place. But with a three-wave pattern, that's corrective, so likely to go higher from there. So let's take a look at the market breadth. So this is advanced declines on a 10-day average basis in the middle, and up volume versus down volume in the lower graph. So we had, let's shrink this up a little bit. So we still have a non-confirmation between these indicators. We actually peaked back here on the 22nd of October, and then as price was moving up, the market breadth in terms of advanced decline and up-down volume was moving lower. So we hit an interim bottom here on December 11th. Since then, market breadth has increased through the holiday season, peaking at December 27th. And since then, market has continued higher. Breadth has been steadily moving lower, which indicates that market breadth is waning, and market leadership in terms of price has been thinned out, where fewer stocks are leading the charge higher. So we still have some non-confirmation. Here's yesterday, where we had the recovery from that move lower. And we did have a little move up in breadth, so that we're slightly above the break-even level of 50% for advanced declines and up-down volume. But still we have a significant non-confirmation in terms of overall market breadth there. So next we'll take a look at the sectors. So with yesterday's activity, looks like all the sectors participated to the upside. Looks like utilities just slightly to the upside. As we can see, healthcare is leading the charge since the beginning of the year, up over 3%. And most of the other sectors are actually below their opens. Looks like financials just poked their heads above the open of the year to go positive yesterday. So looking at the transports versus industrials, the transports started the year a little weaker, but they've reclaimed their stronger performance status. They held all of last year, in fact, probably all of last year, so that they are positive on the year. The industrials a little bit negative on the year, a little over 1% down. Transports are up a little less than 1% on the year. So that's all I've got, Doug. I'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks, Howard. We just put in a new high, overnight high. That's still even possible to expand as well, but the new overnight high is 1838.25. That's the range high from the other day. So going to be a significant level to watch for. Anyway, that's going to complete our morning homework session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we will catch you on the flip side.